You know it's wrong, but you do it anyway. You lie. You hide. You cheat. Avoid. Run. You break the promises you made to others and to yourself. Why? This question has haunted people for centuries. Why do we betray the ones we love? Why do we sabotage our own peace? Why do we continue to repeat the very patterns that destroy us? The answer lies not in judgment, but in understanding. There's a hidden force inside every human being, a force older than memory, more ancient than culture, more powerful than logic. It's what many call the law of human nature. The invisible operating system that runs beneath the surface of your life. And until you become aware of it, it owns you. Every lie, every self-destructive habit, every betrayal, it's not always conscious, it's not always intentional, but it's always rooted in this one truth. We are not rational beings. We are emotional creatures driven by unconscious motives, desperately trying to make sense of ourselves after the fact. And that is the key. You think you're in control. But most of your decisions are reactions. Most of your life is a series of subconscious impulses you never pause to examine. The law of human nature explains this. It tells us that beneath the persona, the mask you wear for the world, lives a deeper, primal self, a self wired for survival, for power, for pleasure, for protection. This part of you is not evil, it's instinctual. It doesn't care about your moral values. It only cares about avoiding pain and getting what it wants. And unless you learn to confront this part of yourself, it will continue to act through you while you pretend it's not there. You'll call it a mistake. You'll say, "I didn't mean it." But in truth, it was a part of you that did mean it. You just didn't realize it had the steering wheel. Let's be honest. You've felt this, the part of you that wants to be faithful, but still fantasizes. The part of you that wants peace, but picks the fight. The part that says, "I'll do better," but never really does. This is not failure. This is not weakness. This is the human condition, and it's time we faced it, because you can't change what you refuse to confront. Most people live their whole lives possessed by their nature, reacting, blaming, projecting. They believe they are making conscious choices, but they're really just running programs. Old pain, learned patterns, ancestral wounds, cultural conditioning. They smile on the outside, but carry rage and resentment in their bones. They say, "I love you," but don't even love themselves. Why? Because they've never turned inward, never sat with their shadow, never looked in the mirror and said, "That part of me that I hate, that is me, and it's time I understood it." That's where real change begins, not with denial, but with radical self-honesty. To say, "Yes, I have jealousy. Yes, I have lust. Yes, I have the desire to manipulate, to hide, to control." It doesn't make you a monster. It makes you aware. And awareness is freedom. Because the only power the shadow has is the power you give it when you pretend it's not there. You want to stop doing the things you know are wrong? You have to understand the part of you that wants to do them. Your nature isn't evil. It's just unconscious, and anything unconscious will control you. But when you bring it into the light, when you observe it without shame, you can work with it, transform it, not through willpower alone, but through presence. The space between impulse and action, that's where freedom lives. It's in the pause, in the breath, in the awareness that says, "I know what I used to do, but today I choose differently." This is what spiritual work really is. Not escaping the body, not pretending to be holy, but facing your deepest instincts with open eyes and open heart. It's the warrior's path, the alchemist's fire, the path of the awakened human. Because the truth is, you are not your nature, You are the consciousness behind your nature, the one who can watch the thought and not follow it, the one who can feel the emotion and not become it, the one who can hold darkness without letting it define you. This is your soul's curriculum, not to be perfect, but to remember your power, to fall and rise, to hurt and heal, to betray and return to truth. So if you've acted wrong, if you've broken something you can't fix, if you've lied or lost yourself, or repeated the same mistake for the 100th time, you're not beyond redemption. You are at the beginning of awakening, and your greatest shame might be the very doorway to your highest self. Because every time you choose awareness over autopilot, responsibility over avoidance, love over fear, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You become whole again, and that is what it means to rise above human nature. Not by denying it, but by mastering it. Not by becoming perfect, but by becoming real. So stop waiting to feel worthy. Stop waiting to be fixed. Stop hiding from the truth of who you are. Because the truth is this: you are not broken. You are remembering. And every time you choose to step back into the light, you become the human being you were born to be. Not flawless, not above it all, but conscious, free, and deeply, profoundly alive. Now go look in the mirror, and don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask instead, "What part of me needs to be seen so it no longer needs to act out?" Because when you see it, you heal it. And when you heal it, you no longer pass it on. That is the law of human nature. And now, you understand. So act wisely.